Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Takane and this is Takane's Take. So today I'll be giving you my take on what to consider before fully deciding that you actually do not like your job. So this applies for people who've been working for a long time, feeling like they've fallen out of love with their job, and people who've been working for a short time, who feel like their work is not necessarily what they expected. The first thing to consider is to remember your why. There are different reasons why we take up jobs or decide to go into a specific work field. So going back and reconvincing yourself that the reasons you had at the beginning still applies is one way of evaluating whether you are still where you want to be. So if you took a job out of desperation and you don't feel desperate anymore, then you may need to find a different why to stay in the job. The second point to consider is the high-low balance. Now, a lot of us, once we've chosen what we want to do, we focus really on the exciting part of the work that we get to do, whether it's interacting with people, developing new things, reaching sale targets, whatever the job you are in. We really focus on the highs when we go into a job. But the one thing that we may forget is that for every part of the excitement, there's actually the boring component. So this could be admin, this could be planning, this could be logistics, or a review of legal frameworks. This may not necessarily be exciting for you, but will then unfortunately form part of your work, and you would have to do this in order to have a complete product. So if you are feeling that there are parts of your job that really excite you and part of the job that really drag you down, my suggestion would be to reconcile with the fact that for every job you do, no matter how big or small, no matter which industry you are in, there will always be parts of the work that don't necessarily excite you. What is important is for you to be able to convince yourself that you can do the non-exciting parts, or you can bear the non-exciting parts. So then the best way to do would be to choose a job that has non-exciting parts that you can deal with or work through. The third thing is that it actually may not be the job, it could be the people that you are working with. In the work environment, we meet people from different backgrounds with different characters and approaches and methodologies. And sometimes you find that if you were to do the work by yourself or do your work with a certain group of people, you might find it more fulfilling than if you do it with another group of people. So sometimes step back a little bit, try to figure out if it is actually the work or if it is the people that you are working with. Follow through to the people then comes to the next point, which is you may not necessarily have the tools or the support you need to do your work. So if you have a job that requires you to travel a lot, make a lot of phone calls, or to get in contact with clients, but you don't have the phone, the car, the budget to do what you need to do, then you might get frustrated and start thinking that you hate what you have to do, when actually you just don't have the resources to implement what you have planned. So in this case, it's a matter of then approaching the right people to say, can I please have some support? Or ask yourself if people who are in the same environment, who have the support and do the exact same work that you do, are happier than you are. The last one that I want to consider, and this is the one that actually starts to put you on the fence, is believing that you are worth more than you are getting. So if your form of remuneration no longer makes you happy, it does not necessarily mean the career choice doesn't make you happy. It means that the current employer doesn't make you happy. And this is important to pick out, because if you start chasing jobs because they give you money, you may forget all the other things, such as the reason and the passion that you have, and then you'll end up within a job that gives you lots of money, but then you will go back to being frustrated. So if you ever get to a point where you're not excited to do your job and the evaluation is that you are worth more than you are getting, then maybe it's not about the job, it's not about you, it actually is just about remuneration, which can either be solved through discussions or moving to a different company. So those are the points that I wanted to share with you to consider before you actually decide that you do not like your job. And I'm using the word job because career profession is a very holistic and long-term view. So here I just wanted to hone in at where you are in the moment in time. But what I really want to leave you with is, no matter which job you take, always and always remember your why. And thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you next time.